Hello, can you hear me?
Making a memorial for Sharon Grace is difficult. Her mental acumen, like lightning, sudden, inordinately powerful, and commanding respect. A premonition. Sharon told me that she had a dream of a cat following a mouse, and the mouse in turn was following a cricket. She said that the meaning of this dream was that she wouldn't be invited to parties anymore. I understood this to be related to the condition Bell's palsy that afflicted her. 2 lives in 1 lifetime. To listen to her speak, you would think she had 2 lives. In one life, she had played the role of a traditional housewife in a suffocating marriage. In the other, she was a struggling artist who clawed her way to where she was. Transmission. Sharon was integral to the San Francisco team that conducted the world's first live interactive composite image dance performance. This would be the first time artists used the internet to interact live using what at the time was military technology. Video synthesizer. Sharon collaborated with the creators of an early, groundbreaking video synthesizer. Millennium Venus. In 1990, Sharon created an interactive video laserdisc installation programmed to respond to the viewer's speech. The feminine cyborg whispers untold secrets about the millennium and waits for a reply. She talks from a time different from our own, a time of disappearance. She talks about the eternal variations in new language, a new system of representation between stimulus and answers. In the end, she asks if it is possible to dwell in time, to invent lifespan, to reinvent space. Teacher. Her method as a teacher was fierce, direct, and helpful. I was preparing for some sort of interview and she said, "I think I know something that can help, role play." But instead of just explaining the subject or offering to help, she directed me to try. Let's go, right now. Pretend I am the interviewer and we are meeting. This lesson served me well, and had it been delivered in any other way, would not have been effective. If we were looking at products in a store, she would demonstrate examining the quality carefully in order to not be deceived by the appearance. Sharon predicted the use of the hashtag symbol in social media today, back in the 1990s, hypothesizing that HTML would be adopted in common language as a direct way to interact with software and each other. Decades later, the hashtag symbol would enter popular lexicon as a way to describe a type of communication online that directly interacts with HTML on a web browser. Sharon was using the expression end-stage capitalism to summarize conditions about 10 years before I heard anyone else use the term. Sharon taught me endings are important, and that if you end things by just walking away and leaving a mess, you may have to deal with it again in the future. Is life art? Once I showed her a copy of an Adbusters magazine I had, and there was an article about skateboarders. She talked about how much respect she had for skateboarders, describing them as artists who cast their bodies into the environment in these majestic shapes with no fear for their self-preservation. Wisdom. When you go to a party and you don't know anybody, stay a little bit boring. She once told me, "I try and be careful when I feel sanctimonious." I must have been being sanctimonious, but she packaged the message so brilliantly, I not only understood the meaning and the message, I was pleased to have learned something wise. Once she had made a long trip, driving back to San Francisco, and described working with energy when growing tired in a situation where you must perform. She talked about listening to jazz as a method for working with energy like a fine thread. Tony. Her life partner Tony was the only person I've seen melt her laser-like acumen and turn it into laughter. Generosity. Sharon used to call me monthly while I was in university and express concern for my circumstances. Frequently, she would insist on sending me money under the pretense of her having extra money this month. It wouldn't be until years later that I would understand that there's no such thing as extra money. She had been downplaying her generosity. One evening I was in the neighborhood and I gave her a call. She mistook me for someone else, someone I dislike. I snapped and said some angry words and hung up. That was the last time I spoke to her. It wasn't until after she passed that it occurred to me that the mix-up was likely related to her later diagnosis of Alzheimer's, and that it wasn't even her fault she mistook me for someone else. Mend fences and keep in touch with the people you love. Some endings are permanent.
Who sent you?
My master, wisest of the mystics.
Where is he? Around here?
He's dead.
Could be anywhere then.